Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. I hope you enjoyed this video I made for you today. I really enjoyed using a 6-inch wreath frame for this. I know, crazy, right? That is so small, but it can be made and it can be done using 21-inch either poly burlap, Deco Mesh, fabric mesh, whatever you choose to use. So I hope you're ready to have some fun because I want to show you how to make this wreath. Okay, so let's get started on what we're going to use for our frame. And I mentioned this on my Instagram, and if you're not on Instagram, or if you are and you're not following, make sure you click on the link in the description box and follow me. We talked about making miniature flowers. This is not going to be a miniature flower, but we are going to use that 6-inch wreath frame, and mine has some glue on it. I don't know why, but anyways, this is a frame you can get from Joann Fabrics, and you can pick it up at their store depending on the state you're in, or, you know, I'm not sure. It's May 2020, you know what's going on. All right, so what I'm going to do is, just like a 10-inch frame, we are going to take the 6-inch frame and a little bit of plastic canvas. I am going to outline the outside, of this middle circle. I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm just going to attach it with little zip ties to that middle frame. So I'm going to do that step and I'll be right back. So let's talk about what materials we're going to use for this wreath. I'm personally going to use this 21-inch poly burlap, and I will show you in a moment how to do that petal. I'm also going to show you how you can use Deco Mesh or fabric mesh. And the difference between the two is this. If you look at the deco, not the fabric, it's a lot see-through-y. I don't know what's the right word, guys, I'm looking for. And it's more stiff. It's more of a nylon feel to it. And then with fabric mesh, it's just a lot softer. You can just, you know, it has more of the fabric feel to it. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do this with the fabric mesh. And let me show you the petals here. So this is the petal with the poly burlap. And then these are the petals where I doubled up on the Deco Mesh and the fabric mesh. And I'm going to explain that in a moment when I say double up. And then this one, yeah, I didn't say that very good. Then this one, ignore that, is just a single layer of the fabric mesh. So you can kind of see the difference if you don't want to double up on your fabric and if you just want to do a single layer like we do for the poly burlap. So let me demonstrate I'm going to use the fabric mesh here. And you're just going to, because they're 21 inches long, you're going to measure 21 inches on your rotary mat. Okay. Whoops, I gotta get the right cutter here. All right, so you're gonna measure 21 inches, and then I just take it and I go over again another 21 inches. And then I'm just gonna cut that down like so. All right, we're done with the rotary cutter. So at this point, this is the double up method, okay? Because the Deco Mesh, for sure, you would need to double up. The fabric mesh, you don't really have to double up. But I wanted to kind of just demonstrate it to you. So this is the double up petal method for this petal, okay? So what you're going to do is we're going to act like this is a normal 10-inch petal that I would be doing for another wreath, okay? So we're going to just fold it in between. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my mat, and I'm going to measure 15 inches. So right here is the 15-inch mark, okay? It's not in the middle. It's about an inch south, okay? So what I want to do is that's where I want to gather my petal. Okay, so we got a pipe cleaner here because it's the same color as our fabric mesh. If you were doing white, I would just use a zip tie. So I'm going to find my 15-inch and I'm going to gather it. Okay, so one end is bigger, the other one is smaller. You can kind of see the difference, okay? I'm just going to take the pipe cleaner because I want to keep the color the same. And I'm just going to twist it, and I'm going to make sure that that is secured really well, okay? I'm just going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to lay it down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bend over the bigger, this is the front of our petal, and we're going to meet the 2 points, okay? So when we flip it over, this is what you're going to get. This is going to come down lower. It's not going to be right at the top, okay? So what you can do, a little piece there, is you can kind of roll the under, let me move this up. So you can kind of roll this side, roll the sides in, okay? I'm just going to leave my pipe cleaner there. And I'm going to bring this over and just meet. Now we're just going to bring it together at the end. And you're just going to work with it. You know, I really pull at it pretty good. And then that forms your petal. Now that's the double petal. So what I would do for my flower is I want the petal to be about 10 inches. You could make them 11 inches if you want a little bit more, you know, diameter of your wreath. It's really up to you. So I just like to go on my mat here. Can't kind of see here, I'll do right here. And I want to just make sure that I take the bottom here and I secure it at the 10-inch mark. So that's the double method. That's the double layer method. Now, when I'm using the poly burlap, I don't need to do that, okay? So now let's learn the single petal method, all right? So that's your double. See how nice that is? And so that's the way the back is going to look. We're going to take our poly burlap and we are just going to measure it at 21 inches because it's 21 inches long. So you're just going to cut it. All right. Flip it so the curled edges are up. We're going to meet it in the middle, like so. And I'm going to find, this is at the tip of my board, you can't really see it. And then I'm going to find my 15-inch mark and I'm just going to gather it. All right. I'm going to grab a zip tie for this one because it's white. And so the zip tie will match. All right. Oh, making lots of noise. All right, so I'm going to just grab that out. I'm just going to roll this in a little bit to kind of hide that raw edge. I don't want that to be seen. And I'm going to roll this in a little bit, okay? Remember, this is the back of your petal. So then you're going to come over here. You're going to meet. All right, I'm trying to keep it all together here. All right, and then I'm going to pull. And then I'm going to just roll these in a little bit. All right. And you're just going to pull. So you get, until you get the shape that you're looking for. I'm looking for more of like that, you know, daisy, like a black-eyed Susan daisy, or I'm not sure if that's a daisy or not. But I'm just looking for a very long, elongated, I don't know. I can't talk today, guys. I've been cooped up in my house for too long. Anyways, I know you'll understand. Okay, so we're just going to pull it, okay? All right, so now I'm going to look at where the 10-inch mark is and the 20-inch because I want my petals to be a certain length, all right? I'm going to add a zip tie at the bottom here. And because these are longer petals, you can make them a little bit longer if you want. So you have that liberty. All right. I'm going to use these cutters that I've gotten from Amazon, and they're in my Amazon shop, my affiliate shop. And so is like the mat and the cutters I use and all sorts of things. So if you're looking for some supplies, it will be in the description box below. Okay, so that is our petal. So this is a single, but this is poly burlap. You don't need to double up on a poly burlap. And then you've got your double method. And again, that makes a lot like poofier of a petal, and that's okay too. But I just kind of wanted to show you the different versions because maybe you have fabric mesh and you don't have poly burlap. Some good places to order is Trendy Tree and the Wreath shop. And I'm going to leave you my links, their affiliate links, below in the description box, and you can check out and see what they have on stock. Okay, so we'll be right back and we'll start putting it together. Okay, so now let's put our wreath together. We're gonna use 9 of these petals. Hopefully I won't prove myself wrong. I'll be right here in my guesstimations. So we're going to use 8-inch zip ties, and we are going to secure on the back of it with a 4-inch zip tie as well. So I'm going to take the first petal, and remember, this is the front and that is the back. That's what your back is going to look like, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to focus on that inside frame, and I'm not going to put it right on the bracket, but I'm going to put it on the one side. So see, there's the bracket. Let's put it to the side of that bracket, okay? Because I want to put 3 petals in each of these sections. So you're just going to take your zip tie, and I'm just going to go through. You could just go through the mesh, but I'm going through the mesh and then on the other side of that wire. But you could just do it through the mesh if you wanted to do that, okay? So let's do this. And the reason why I'm doing it on the most inner part is just because I want this wreath frame to kind of be a stabilizer for my petal. So once you get that one on, then I want you to flip it over, and I want you to take a little 4-inch zip tie, and I want you just to kind of go through some of the mesh and then the bar frame right there, and then you're going to attach it. And I'm only doing that just because I just want a little bit more security. And yeah, that's not going to go anywhere, guys. That's going to stay where I want it. It's not going to flop up, and we want it to be secure. So that's just a little added tip to do that. So I'm just going to cut the zip ties. So I just flip that underneath the little head of that so it can't scratch a door. So now we're going to take another one of these, and I'm going to lay it right beside it. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through the mesh first and then go on the outside of that frame. So I'll show you in a moment. Okay. And you're going to play with your petals to try to get them to be kind of uniformed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going along here. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing I did over here. Just going to go through just to kind of secure it just a little bit more, get that petal to lay the right way. So we're just going to do 3 of these petals in each of these sections, which will give us 9 petals in all. So I'll be right back with this finished, and then we'll work on the middle. Okay, so we've made our flower here. I think it looks really super cute. So what are we going to do for the middle? I wanted to kind of try to do something a little different than what I've done previously before. And I had thought about doing like a rosette, and I filmed this, but I'm just not really sure that I love it in this flower. So what I thought was I would take a little piece of plastic canvas. This is about 3 inches in diameter. So if you put it over, we just want it to kind of cover the center section, and we're going to have ribbon coming out as well. So what I did was I just cut this 1.5 inch really nice ribbon I got from the Wreath shop. It's yellow, and it does have wire in it. And I'm just going to fold it over, and I'm going to gather it at the bottom. Now, if you wanted to use some foam and some pins, you could do that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a zip tie. I'm going to go underneath of it here. Let's see if I can do this and show you at the same time. And I'm going to attach it with this little zip tie. Now, could you do this with a foam and some hot glue? Sure. But this is the way I'm going to do it. So let me know if you do it a different way and how it works out for you. So because it has that wire, it gives us a little bit of body there, which I like. So you're just going to start off with going around the whole circle and make these little loops. So let's do another one. I'm going to gather it and make that little loop. And if you wanted to, you could make these 6-inch pieces if that just was easier for you. So I'm just going to try to get it as close as I can here. And so I'm just going to keep going around the circumference of this mesh, this plastic canvas. This is the 5 mesh, which means it's five squares across makes 1 inch. So 5 times 5 would be actually 25, but for a square inch, but that just gives you, you know, the look. So we're going to just keep doing this all the way around, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the first layer done. I kind of like the way it's going, so we're going to do the second layer. We're going to do the same exact thing, but I'm going to make sure I kind of go in between the petals that I've already made. So you're just going to add another layer to make sure you cover up all the gaps there, okay? And you're just going to go all the way around like I did with this one. So I'm going to just kind of put my zip tie through, and I'm kind of going in between the background of the two. And then I'm just going to do the little zip tie. And then I'm just going to keep doing the same process and going all the way around. And then I'll show you what we're going to do for the middle to finish it up. Okay, so we're almost done with our center. As you can see, I have that second row of the loops. And then I'm going to cut another few of these. I want to say I'm going to cut about 5 of these loops. I'm not sure that I'm going to use all 5, but I want them just in case. So I already have 1 loop made. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. So at this point, we have to change it up because we can't keep doing the same thing and expecting not to see the center there. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your glue gun here, and I want you to make a loop, okay, like that, and then just put a dab of glue. Now this glue I'm using is the Gorilla glue sticks, and again, those are in my Amazon affiliate shop. Link is in the description. But I just like to use this glue, and I love my glue gun because it's cordless. So we're going to make 5 of these, and then I'll be right back to show you how we're going to put them in. Okay, so I have my loops. This is one I already made, so it's a little messed up there, but I think it still looks good. All right, so I'm going to take my loop, take a little piece of wire that I cut, and I'm going to twist this. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to put this one in the center of that. And sometimes it's going to be a little trickier. You're just going to have to find the mesh in here and make it work. So this will be our center loop, and then we will place all the loops around it, okay? So I'm going to place that one down, and then I'm just going to twist on the back here. And this is already full of all those zip ties. So now we're going to add the wire, and you might be able to hear my dog barking upstairs, but I'm going to keep going because the mailman's probably here. So anyways, all right, so there's the one. So now we just need to fill in the rest. So I'm just going to take another one. I'm going to, like, you know, pinch it where we glued it. Take a wire, and I'm just going to twist it really good, okay? So that's our loop. So let's just put one right here. And you're just going to, you know, wrap it around, kind of, you're just going to play with it a little bit. All right, I'm going to pull that through. And so I'm just going to keep doing this process. I'm just going to keep filling it around and playing with it and making sure I like the look of it. And then we will be back. So give me a moment and I'll be right back. Okay, so I ended up using more loops in the middle than I thought I might need. So you're just going to kind of play it by hand. It's a little, you know, kind of tricky to get them all in there and then use the ribbon. But I'm just going to go through here, and I'm just going to kind of fluff up my ribbon here. I probably should fluff it up more once it's on the wreath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a piece of wire that I cut. I'm going to go through the middle loop here, or what seems like the middle loop, and then go through the other side. And that's how we're going to connect this to our wreath. Okay. Pull it through. So you're going to pull it through like that. Then you're going to take your wreath. And again, there's lots of mesh here, so you're just going to have to find a spot that your wires can go through. Pull it through. There we go. That looks centered. Yep. And then you're just going to twist it in the back here. So let's just show you. Now what I will do is I will cut a small piece of felt and attach it with little zip ties, and then you can still hang it from the wreath frame, or you could even make a loop. I'm going to show you how you can make a loop for the back of a wreath if you don't want to hang it from the frame. So hold on. Okay, so I'm going to use just a orange pipe cleaner because I want to show you how to do it. And I think if I did a white pipe cleaner, it'd be harder to see. So you're just going to pick where you want it to hang. So let's say I want it to hang there. So I would take one end and go underneath there, and then I would wrap it around that frame a couple more times. All right. And then I'm going to go on the other side to make my loop as big as I want it. So that's about good right there. And I'm going to wrap it around several times as well. Okay, so at this point I take the ends and I just twist them, and then if I have a spot where I can like go under the frame, I'll do that too, and then you can hang it that way as well. But I typically like to hang it from the actual wire frame itself. So once you're done with that, you're just going to go through here and you're just going to kind of lift up on those little ribbon pieces and just kind of sort it out. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that it was something a little different than the norm for you, and I hope that you learned something today, how you can use a 6-inch wire wreath frame that you can pick up from Joann's Fabrics and craft stores and make a really cute wreath. This is kind of, I guess, a daisy, a Gerber daisy, I'm not sure, but I hope you enjoyed the new center we did. I always like to tweak it a little bit, you know. Nothing's ever perfect, but that's okay. So if you made it this far, number one, thank you for joining me. Number two, let me know in the comments below how you're handling this time. What are you creating? Are you doing something new? Are you having a hard time finding craft supplies right now? Let me know in the comments below. Leave me a flower if you enjoyed this tutorial. If you're on Facebook, I have a group called Wreath Creators and More. It's for crafting of all kinds, not just wreaths. Would love to have you join there. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button here on YouTube. And we will see you next time on Julie's Wreath Boutique.